I'm at Highland for BJTtv. The inflated cost of Jet A fuel has been a major headache for business aircraft operators. Pilots are having to be more aggressive and resourceful in shopping around for the best available prices. Prices may have dipped a little lately from the record highs hit a few months ago. But just about everyone accepts that fuel will continue to dominate operating costs for the foreseeable future. Fuel sellers like AvFuel and AML Global told BJTtv that over the past year, Jet A prices have risen by between 30% and 60%, depending on where you are refueling.
Myself being involved in the higher end of corporate aircraft, the Gulfstream side, G4, G5, flying all over the world, fuel equates about a third of the cost of running an aircraft.
An aviation consulting group conducted a recent survey of fixed-based operators and found an overwhelming majority cite fuel costs as a concern and are taking measures to minimize consumption. 40% of those interviewed reported flying at slower speeds to save fuel. 28% are now requesting more direct routes. And 76% reported customers switching FBOs to find lower-priced fuel. Finding that lower-priced fuel isn't always easy. That's why corporate pilot Jamie Shawyer developed a new online fuel ordering service called AML Global. Shawyer says their goal is to make sure operators get the best available price to fit their travel plans.
AML Global produces a price list that has 3,000 locations. The prices that are shown on the price list are updated daily by suppliers. So a pilot, before they go on a trip, they would download the prices, print it out, and keep it in the aircraft. So whenever they're going around the world, they know where to take fuel and where not to take fuel.
When you log on to a site like AML Global, you're asked to enter a location. We'll use Orlando. From there, AML Global lists prices for all their suppliers in the Orlando area. We'll choose Showalter Flying Service. Operators can order fuel with the click of a mouse. Another company aiming to help operators is contract fuel provider AvFuel. With so many suppliers available, AvFuel executives recommend choosing 2 or 3 providers based on multiple criteria.
They need to have competitive pricing and accurate billing, just to make sure that they're billed what they're quoted. A web-based system. We have a web-based system where flight departments can go in and they can look at prices. They can do their own authorizations in advance if need be. They can get their invoices from the website. It has to be, I think, an automated system at the point of sale for these operators.
Standifer also warns operators to be leery of prices that seem too low.
Operators need to make sure that fees are included, the airport fees, all those kind of things are included in the price whenever they're quoted. And then it has to be an easy program. There has to be somebody on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. Make sure that the end user customer, the charter operator, the business aircraft operator, is taken care of. And so there are things that make a penny or two higher maybe worthwhile.
The introduction of longer range and more fuel-efficient aircraft has made the tankering of fuel a more viable option for some.
I can take fuel out of the northeast of the States, fly to Vegas and back without refueling because I'm paying $3.40 a gallon in the northeast and paying $7, $8, $9 a gallon in Vegas because of the local taxes. So people who are savvy to the prices do tend to have a tankering system in place, and it's not difficult to work it out.
For larger operators, even building their own fuel farms can make sense. But regardless of size, having the right information is critical to deciding the best price control strategy for your operation. While operators are forced to shop around, the aviation industry as a whole is trying to make a difference. NBAA and AOPA recently joined a coalition focused on ways to reduce fuel prices. It's called Stop Oil Speculation Now, and the goal is to reduce unnecessarily high energy prices. And no doubt that will be a hot issue at the upcoming NBAA convention in Orlando. And we are in Orlando. We're at Showalter Aviation. Joining me now is Kim Showalter, the president of Showalter Aviation. And Kim, give us an idea, if you will, about what changes you are seeing and what changes you're making in light of these tremendous fuel costs we're seeing.
Oh, Ed, there are tremendous changes. You're right. For the year, last numbers I looked at, our business was down about 17%. And as I talk to people out in the industry in other parts of the country, they will share with you that they're down 15 or 20%. So we seem to be about average. Average isn't a place you like to be right now when it's down that much. But the price of fuel simply is prohibitive for people to continue to do business the way they have. We see corporate flight departments that are just flying smarter. They already own the asset or are making payments on the asset, the aircraft. They have to hangar it, they have to crew it, they have to insure it. So those costs don't go away. They're ongoing. They're not going to just park the airplane, and they haven't. They're smarter about how they use the airplane. They may double up on trips. They may take more people on a trip than they would have normally. They may not take the trip that they normally would have, simply because of the costs being as restrictive as they are.
You have been in this business for a little while. How would you characterize this particular, I'll call it a slowdown, this slump, this recession? How would you characterize this compared to perhaps some other slowdowns we've seen in the past?
Well, you know, for us, this one is different in that the cost of fuel is so high. So you kind of have that double whammy. You have the recession or the slowdown. I don't know that it's really a recession, but I'm not an economist. But the cost of fuel has been so high. In times past, that's not been our issue. We may have been under government price controls way back in the early years, but that's not the case now. You have a slowing economy, and then you have a product, and for us, really, we only have one product, it's fuel, that is so costly, so expensive, although it has dropped back considerably in the last probably 5 weeks. We have seen it come off its high, but when that barrel of oil comes down $15 or $20 or $30, it's translating to, for us to maybe 30, 35, 36 cents in what we can charge for a gallon of fuel. So it's better. It's not where we want it to be yet.
Well, Kim Showalter, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we're going to be looking forward to enjoying the static display here at Showalter Aviation in the very near future. Thank you so much, and stay with us. Much more on AIN TV.